Hi again. I am doing my response video to the Schwarzfahrer. Yeah. So, um, I definitely I watched Rachel Days, and I thought I definitely agree with her that people like I could never have sat there and someone talk about like I don't know, white people to an extent in a terrible way in a stereotypical manner, since everyone is equal. But I mean, it varies from generation to generation about what people think, because the older you are, the less able you are to, um, you know, pick up new ideas or new mentalities about different people. Because if you're raised hearing X people are making our economy terrible, and X people are going to ruin our country, that's going to stay with you, and it's going to change how you look at X person. And that's definitely probably why the two people on the train that she mentioned were the ones laughing, because they they've been taught to believe that any immigrant Turk, the Afro Germans, that they're the ones causing the issues, and oftentimes they're used as a scapegoat, which is quite unfortunate because they don't make all the problems in the economy. They come, like Rachel said, for good reasons. They don't come just to for kicks and giggles, but they come for a good reason, to find jobs. And in one of the news at the beginning intro, they were talking about I forget which, if it was a German guy or the woman in London, but someone mentioned unemployment, and they said, oh, we already have employment on a high rate of unemployment, and now we have these immigrants coming in and taking it. Which, I mean, everyone is there for a reason, and who gets the job is who gets the jobs, and that's not fair to blame the poor economy on people who are being adventurous, getting out of their home country. And I mean, back then, if that video was probably made during times when it was acceptable to say that things out loud, especially an older woman who might not know what's appropriate to say out loud and what's good to keep in, especially pouring it on this poor African American guy sitting next to her who just wants to get to his destination. He didn't ask her about the history of what she feels about the economy, immigrants, like how they smell, what they look like. And I like how she mentioned the globalization, since yeah, our generation especially, and the one before us, has just started to become more globalized. And I mean, we're more open to thinking about people as not skin color, but older generations, like I said, were taught to not like certain people and blaming them as a scapegoat, which is how racial issues probably begin in the first place. So I definitely agree with a lot of those things that Rachel, you said, and the fact that yes, we are in a globalized world, and every generation, every person in each generation has a different outlook, depending on where you live, depending on your age. You have a different idea of what's acceptable to say and who is right and who is wrong. So if you're raised in a farm town and there isn't a lot of racial differences or ethnicities. Maybe it's a lot of Caucasians. You'd be surprised to go into a large city where there are different. There are Asians. There are African Americans. There are, name it, like a different. They're Middle Eastern people. So it depends on the experience each person has. And obviously, this woman in it, which is funny because I feel like there was not karma, but yes, the karma that she had to get off the bus when the guy ate the ticket, which just ended the video beautifully. But I would definitely say that each generation has a different outlook on globalization and the ideas of society, and that's really what changes in each time period. So yes, I agree with a lot of what Rachel said.